The family members have tears in their eyes when they welcome Kaim back to the inn from his long journey. Thank you for coming so much. He understands the situation immediately. The time for departure is drawing near. Too soon, too soon. But still, he knows this day would have come sometime, and not in the distant future. I might not never see you again, she said to him with a sad smile when he left on his journey. Her smiling face almost transparent as in its whiteness, so fragile, and therefore indescribably beautiful, as she lay in bed. May I see Hanna now, he asks. The innkeeper gives him a tiny nod and says, I don't think she'll know who you are, though. She hasn't opened her eyes since last night, he warns Kaim. You can tell from the slight movement of her chest that she is clinging to a frail thread of life, but it could snap at any moment. It's such a shame. I know you made a special point to come here for her. Another tear glides down the wife's cheek. Never mind, it's fine, Kaim says. He has been present at innumerable deaths, and his experience has taught him much. Death takes away the power of speech first of all, then the ability to see. What remains alive to the very end, however, is the power to hear. Even though the person has lost consciousness, it is by no means unusual for voices of the family to bring forth smiles or tears. Kaim puts his arm around the woman's shoulder and says, I have lots of travel stories to tell her. I've been looking forward to this my whole time on the road. Instead of smiling, the woman releases another large tear and nods to Kaim. And Hanna was so looking forward to hear your stories. Her sobs almost drown out her words. The innkeeper says, I wish I could urge you to rest up from your travels before you see her, but... Kaim interrupts his apologies. Of course, I'll see her right away. There is very little time left. Hanna, the only daughter of the innkeeper and his wife, will probably breathe her last before the sun comes up. Kaim lowers his pack to the floor and quietly opens the door to Hanna's room. Hanna was frail from birth, far from enjoying the opportunity to travel. She rarely left town, or even the neighborhood in which she was born and raised. This child will probably not live to adulthood, the doctor told her parents. This tiny girl, with extraordinarily beautiful doll-like features, the gods had dealt an all too sad destiny. That they had allowed her to be born the only daughter of the keepers of a small inn by the highway was perhaps one small act of atonement for such iniquity. Hanna was unable to go anywhere, but the guests who stayed at her parents' inn would tell her stories of the countries and towns and landscapes and people that she would never know. Whenever guests arrived at the inn, Hanna would ask them, Where are you from? Where are you going? Can you tell me a story? She would sit and listen to their stories with sparkling eyes, urging them on to new episodes, and then, when they left the inn, she would beg them, please come back and tell me lots and lots and lots of stories about faraway countries. She would stand there waving until the person disappeared far down the highway, give one lonely sigh, and go back to bed. Hanna is sound asleep. No one else is in the room, perhaps an indication that she has long since passed the stage when the doctors can do anything for her. Kaim sits down in the chair next to the bed and says with a smile, Hello, Hanna. I'm back. She does not respond. Her little chest, still without the swelling of a grown woman, rises and falls almost imperceptibly. I went far across the ocean this time, he tells her. The ocean on the side where the sun comes up. I took a boat from the harbor way, way, way far beyond the mountains you can see from this window. And I was on the sea from the time the moon was perfectly round until it got smaller and smaller and bigger until it was full again. There was nothing but ocean as far as the eye could see. Just the sea and the sky. Can you imagine it, Hanna? You've never seen the ocean, but I'm sure people have told you about it. It's like a huge, big, endless puddle. Kaim chuckles to himself, and it seems to him that Hanna's pale white cheeks moves slightly. She can hear him. Even if she cannot speak or see, her ears are still alive. Believing and hoping this to be true, Kaim continues with the stories of his travels. He speaks no words of parting. As always with Hanna, Kaim smiles with a special gentleness he has never shown to anyone else, and he goes on telling his tales with a bright voice, sometimes even accompanying his stories with exaggerated gestures.